Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Welcome to the 2024 Biomedical HIV Prevention Summit webinar, How to Submit a Successful Abstract. I'd like to, excuse me, move forward. My name is Diane Ferguson. I'm the conference coordinator. Also presenting today is Allison McKeithen, our conference's assistant director.
Welcome, everyone.
To begin, we have some housekeeping. Number one, there will be questions. Two, the survey, and three, the webinar posting. Today's webinar is the abstract submission webinar. Part one, how to write an abstract, and part two, how to submit an abstract. Information regarding our abstracts and resources are available on MMAC's website at www.biomedicalhivsummit.org. Part one, how to write an abstract. Presentation type. The abstract will be a workshop with 1.5-hour presentation time, a didactic lecture giving thorough information on a subject or topic. The tracks for the 2024 Biomedical HIV Prevention Summit are alcohol and drug use, epidemiology of biomedical HIV prevention, psychosocial frameworks, improved update, community mobilization and advocacy strategies, behavior and biomedical prevention strategies, transgender and non-conforming, prevention for gay and bi MOC, translation and implementation research, community participation in research, our Spanish track, and the women's track. The list of these tracks are also available on our website. The presentation level. To ensure that you submit the correct abstract, make your selection based on the level of knowledge your attendees will need to understand your content. There are three levels. The first level is the beginner level. The attendee has little to no knowledge. Intermediate level is the attendee has some knowledge on the topic. And the advanced level, the attendee is well versed on the topic and able to learn complex concepts related to the topic. And before we go any further, I just want you all to know that our Assistant Director, Allison McKeithen, will be jumping in if I miss something or she needs to make additional comments. There are two scientific formats. One is the scientific format, and this is for abstracts concerning a specific program, project, or study. The titles are limited to 10 words. The description should describe the purpose of the program, project, or study. It needs to be limited to 150 words and subjected to edits by NMAC. The second part is the methods. Briefly describe the methods or strategy used in the program. 3, the results. Describe the objective outcomes of the program, project, or study. Include quantifiable data if possible. 4, conclusions. State the conclusions reached as a result of the program. The second format is the community for abstracts addressing a broader issue area, problem, or community need. It also is limited to, the title is also limited to 10 words. You must also identify the topic of the proposed presentation, limited to 150 words, and again, subjected to edits by NMAC. 2, issues dictating the specific issues, problems or needs in it will teach or discuss. 3. Learning objectives. Describe what the audience will learn from the presentation. And 4. Strategies, methods, models. For an example, provide information about the teaching or discussion strategies and methods that will be employed. Include models or examples. In your workshop. Methods, issues. Keep it relevant to your topic. Why is it relevant? And what is the issue you are addressing? Results, learning objectives. What skills would you like the attendees of your workshop to have at the end? And finally, the conclusions, strategies, methods, models, examples. Write out how you plan to educate the attendees. What is the plan for them to actually meet the objectives you previously mentioned? And what is your strategy?
Diane, can I step in for a moment?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. So, all those tips are really great tips, a part of the 4 parts of any abstract that is submitted, whether you're doing your scientific or your community abstract. We have some additional resources on our Summit tracks page. We have some links that have some really good information about how to write an abstract. They give you background, like how to write a background, what is great about writing a title. We actually reference the American Medical Writers Association, which is our third hypertext link when you go into our abstracts page on the summit. It goes into how to write a method, tells you about 3 to 8 sentences that explain what the research was. We also give you more information. They give you more information about results, how to make sure that it's clear and concise. One of the things that they highlight is the 4 C's of an abstract. 1, complete. 2, concise. 3, clear. 4, cohesive. All very important things to consider when you're writing it. Have someone else review it and ask them, hey, do I meet the 4 C's? Additionally, they give you some additional tips down here. They have 7 tips for writing a winning abstract. I definitely encourage all of you to check out the abstract page on our website. Look through those links, especially because this year we're focused on making science easy for folks to digest and easy for the community. And this gives you great tips on how to write successful abstracts to make sure that we do that for them. Please review it. We're here to help answer questions about your abstract before you submit it. We'll help you make sure that you're meeting our track description needs. All of y'all are subject matter experts, so I don't want to explain anything to you. I don't want to, word explain anything research based to you, but read the track descriptions and make sure that your abstract falls within the track guidelines and the track descriptions. And then go ahead and follow out those 4 steps of writing out the abstract. Those are some great tips on our website. Again, please go to our website, check those resources, and make sure that your abstract is a winning and successful abstract submission for this year. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you so much for that, Allison. I appreciate it. So, tips. The very first thing is to start writing early. Start early. Don't wait until the last minute. Start writing your abstract early. Proofread. As Allison mentioned before, have your colleagues review the abstract or have a friend review it. Have a second set of eyes to look at it. And lastly, pharmaceutical abstracts are not accepted. Part 2, how to submit an abstract. Please write this down and put it on your calendar. The submission deadline is January 29th, 2024, with no exceptions. You can also go back again to our website, www.biomedicalhivsummit.org, for deadlines, for resources that Allison spoke about, how to write an abstract. This PowerPoint will be available for your review later. To submit an abstract, you must create a free submittable account. Submittable works best on Google Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. Internet Explorer is not supported. Please make sure you are using a supported browser so you are able to submit your abstract appropriately. This is when you get into the submittable system, you will see this information. This is where you will submit your abstract name, last name, organization, and so forth. And you must fill in the sections where there is a red asterisk. Please make sure to fill in every place that has a red asterisk. Those sections are required. This is an example of it being filled out with your age, HIV status, if you choose to include that, the track that you wish to your abstract to be under, what level it is, the workshop title, a workshop description, which is less than 150 words, the methods, which has a limit of 500 words, and the results with the limit of 500 words. The conclusion also has a limit of 500 words. Please also include the presenter and all co-presenters. All co-presenters, please. You will also be asked to upload your CV or resume. And any other supportive documents that you would like to include. When you are finished with that, you would hit submit. And because you did not fill out all of the fields with the red asterisk, it will not allow you to submit the form. So it will let you know that, highlight the ones that you need to go back and fill in. And once you filled in the ones that are missing, you will be able to hit and click on submit. There you are. You will receive an email to say that your submission was a success. So once you fill out all the fields with the red asterisk, click submit, and you will get an email from Submittable saying that you submitted an abstract correctly. Allison, do you have anything to add to that?
Nope, all that information is correct. Just make sure that one recommendation I would make is to type out your abstract before you put it into that form. If you type it out in Word, you're able to edit and have other people review it before you hit submit. And then you can just copy and paste from your Word document into the designated areas for your description, your results, your methods, your conclusion, and so forth. It just makes it a lot easier than trying to type and edit inside of the form. So that's one thing I would recommend is typing out your abstract in a Word document before you complete the form.
That's a great recommendation. Thank you, Allison. This is the confirmation email that you will receive that your application has been successfully submitted to MMAC, and you have submitted. So what's next? The abstracts will go to the program committee for review. The committee reviews, scores, and selects the curriculum for the 2024 summit. They will ensure tracks and topics are robust with a wide variety of demographics presented. Decisions will be sent to the submitters no later than February 22nd. The review criteria. The abstracts should be should be an interactive activity for the I'm sorry. The abstract should be an interactive activity for the attendees. You want to write something that keeps the attendees engaged. The abstract should align with the selected tracks, goals, or descriptions. Your abstract should be relevant to today's issues. They should include innovative ideas. They should include essential information needed for people who work in the HIV prevention realm. They should be Your abstract should have clarity of your objectives and narratives. If you still have any questions, you can send an email to conferences@mmac.org. Thank you for attending. Don't forget that this live presentation will be available on our website. Also, please remember to check out those resources that Allison mentioned earlier in the webinar. And if there are any questions, Taylor?
And while
There
we wait for
are.
Taylor, okay.
Oh,
And I
sure,
was
go
going to say,
ahead.
while
Say
we
what you
wait
were going to
for
say
Taylor,
first.
While Taylor's pulling up those questions, want to thank you all again for being here. And I do want to let you know that those review criteria are the exact questions that reviewers look at when they're evaluating your abstract. Your abstract is reviewed by subject matter experts, so these folks understand what you're writing about. They're experts in these fields and these tracks. So speak to them when you write. Make sure that you do put things that make sense. They're going to understand better than me reviewing it. I'm not going to understand. It's a conference planner. I don't work in the HIV field. As much as I want to be as smart as y'all, I am not, and I work within my realm, right, of conferences. But the folks reviewing are going to understand what's interactive. They're going to understand whether or not it's cutting edge information that you're presenting. They're going to understand whether or not the data you're presenting makes sense. So please consider that, who the audience is that's reading it. And make sure that you do speak to those folks and that's clear. I think clarity is a big part of having your abstract evaluated well and successful. And for each one of those questions, you're assigned points. The maximum points an abstract can receive is 20 points. So each of those 5 questions gets 4 points each. You want to make sure that you are at the top of the game for each one of those things. So make sure clarity is very important. Stay on topic. Okay. Make sure you outline what your results are. Make sure you outline what the objectives are. Make sure they understand this is the education that these attendees are going to get if you award me this presentation. So just be very, very clear. Have someone else read it. Someone, who may not necessarily be completely within the realm of what you do, a colleague, have them read it and say, hey, do you understand what I'm presenting here? Do you feel like you understand that this is the data people are going to get if they come to this presentation? And make some edits if not. Don't be afraid to make some edits to what you have. But most importantly, be confident that you know what you know and your presentation will do well. So with that, I send you all the positive energy in the world to submit wonderful abstracts. I look forward to seeing them and seeing what y'all submit and present. I will pass it over to Taylor because I know that she said we have some questions.
Yeah, there are a few questions that came in. So we have a question. Um, I'm not gonna, I guess I won't say names. Is there a total word number for the entire abstract?
There will be a total word count for the whole abstract, but it's broken into sections. So descriptions have 150 word count, and the remaining three sections have 500 words each. So the section with results 500 words, the section with conclusions 500 words. Each section has 500 words. You'll see that on the form, your word count. We actually have a word count there, so you can help keep track of where you fall in that count.
Okay, and the next question, if we're having panelists for our session, will there be available the technological capacity for hybrid, meaning the capacity for some to join via Zoom and some be in the room?
I would plan to have only in-person presenters.
I can actually, we haven't typically done it like that in the past. That's something we can definitely look into, but like Allison said, plan for only in person. Okay. Um, okay. Are you able to start the system, I guess the submission and save as you go?
You are able to save, yes.
Excellent. And is that the last one? Let me double check. Oh, are you able to submit more than one abstract?
You are, but please only submit one abstract. If you have an abstract that might fall under multiple tracks, select the track it best fits under and submit only under that track. If you submit the same abstract to multiple tracks, there's a large possibility that it might not get reviewed at all. So only submit your abstract once into the best track that it fits within. Okay, but you can submit multiple abstracts.
I think that takes care of our last question for today.
Okie dokie,
Oh,
great questions.
somebody just submitted one. If we are presenting results of a study and there are authors who cannot attend the summit, I assume we can still include them on the abstract.
Yes, please do. As long as you've been given clearance to present their data and their information, just make sure that you do have that clearance. Absolutely.
Okay. If anybody wants to ask any other questions, we are about to wrap up. Okay, one more came in. Will there be points going towards who is submitting the abstract? Let's say I'm a transgender community member versus someone cis or within the academic institutions.
We're not giving points specifically for being trans or cis, anything like that. We give points purely based on the content of your abstract. However, we do evaluate and look at diversity of presenters. We love to have a diverse presenter faculty covering multiple ethnicities, gender identifications. We want to make sure that our presenters represent our communities. So that is important to us, but not in, we don't necessarily assign points for that. So while demographics on our form is optional, you don't have to complete them, you don't have to submit your demographics. Giving us that information, though, helps us in decision making if we have a particular abstract that's submitted. For instance, you brought up transgender. So if this abstract is talking about the transgender community and the person is cisgender, it bodes better if that person is transgender. It just, the information coming from that community just, it's better received if it comes from someone of that community. So we might look upon that favorably versus someone who might be presenting the same topic and might be cisgender. So it does help us in making those type of decisions and making sure that our abstracts are represented by people in that community.
All right, it looks like that was the official last one.
Okay. No problem. If you do have questions, the slides will be available online. This webinar will be posted on our website, biomedicalhivsummit.org. So please visit it. Check out the resources that are listed on there. There's some great resources on there about abstract writing, research-based abstract writing, because our conference is focused on research this year. So we want to make sure that it's hitting the community and that community understands the research and their importance in the research. So check out those resources. We are available to answer questions at conferences at nmac.org. We will do our very best to answer your questions. And if we can't answer them, and especially if they're topically based, I can't answer them, then I'll forward it over to my treatment division. My colleagues there are very well versed in that, and they'll be able to give you a little bit more specific information on the topics. So please reach out to us. We're very accessible. We're happy to help. We look forward to seeing it. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for attending, everybody.
Have a great evening. Please complete the survey at the end.
Thank you.